Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. We begin this evening with some closure on a land use issue near the intersection of Hargrove Road and 2nd Avenue East. In tonight's top story, Stan Pate, who wanted to develop a high-density apartment complex at what is known as the Arlington property, is deciding to withdraw his request. Pate was trying to have the area zoned for a 4-story residential facility. Many nearby residents still came to City Hall in opposition of the proposal, even though the item was withdrawn from the council agenda. Some residents spoke, letting city leaders know their presence will be felt the next time a similar project is proposed.
In general, we are not against student housing. We're against high-density housing.
I've seen it time and time again. Students are nasty. They're loud. They do not it's true. They do not respect their neighbors, and they will bring a lot of traffic and noise with them.
We would like to not have to try to come back again and again and do this. It takes up our time and your time as well. So we'd like to know, how can we move forward without doing this again?
The developer Stan Pate and neighborhood leaders met in a series of mediation meetings in efforts to work out a compromise on site plans. Pate also offered to donate tens of thousands of dollars to help with road improvements in the area. Also coming out of the council tonight, the developer who wants to build an Embassy Suites in downtown Tuscaloosa now has 2 more months to submit his final plans. The Kimmons-Wilson Group received the bid last year to build the hotel on the side of what is currently the Tuscaloosa City Fest parking lot. According to city leaders, the developer is finishing up minor details and other issues like road vacancy concerns. City leaders say the company is acting with due diligence in regards to finishing the project. But Tuscaloosa Mayor Walt Maddox says the state's Department of Transportation still needs to act before the project can be started.
Aldot has some right-of-way in and around the City Fest lot, and so those issues have to be cleared. We're working with Aldot right now to make sure we get those issues cleaned up.
The City Council is attempting to push an appeals process for structures built near historical districts. These so-called buffer zones are areas right outside the historical areas. Some residents were unhappy about a proposed apartment complex near JD's Deli. Council members hope to schedule the meeting with the Planning and Zoning Commission to work out the details surrounding the appeals process. Councilman Lee Garrison has a certain goal in mind when it comes to a final plan.
Allow for the architectural integrity of structures in the buffer zone to somewhat commingle with the historic district in a relatively orderly fashion.
You may soon be able to carry your alcoholic beverages from place to place in certain areas of Tuscaloosa. The areas are being labeled entertainment districts. A couple of places mentioned are the Strip by the University of Alabama campus and the 4th Street 23rd Avenue area of downtown Tuscaloosa. Many local bar owners came to City Hall in support of the proposal, and although there are no formal plans for these districts as of yet, City Councilman Kip Tyner believes it would be positive for downtown local businesses.
I think this is something that already our restaurant and arts community, as well as our bars and all, are going to quickly embrace.
And now an update on a story we first brought you tonight at 6. The Tuscaloosa City Council unanimously struck down a beer and wine license for Bama Wings, Fish, and More on Dinah Washington Avenue. The owners wanted an off-premises beer and table wine license, but many neighborhood residents and city leaders voiced concerns against it. Councilman Bobby Howard and Harrison Taylor spoke publicly against the proposal at the council meeting. The pair expressed concerns about the location, which is near an elementary school and a church. The owner told the council he had hundreds of petitioners supporting his business, while local residents had hundreds of signatures opposing the license. Well, another warm day outside, and only looks to get hotter by week's end. Let's get a first check on Alabama's home team forecast. For that, here's Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. Hey, Richard.
Hey, John, good Tuesday evening to you. Down to 80 degrees now in Tuscaloosa. We were at 84 just a few moments ago, but temperatures still cooling off, but it's mild tonight. 77 over in Birmingham, Anniston, and Auburn over in East Alabama. Some of the cooler spots, Memphis, Tennessee, at 84. Not much to talk about on the satellite radar imagery. In fact, mostly clear skies across the southeast. Only showers happening earlier today down over Mobile and Baldwin counties. But around here, we stay dry. And it's going to stay dry for the most part, I think, for a Wednesday and a hot day. 87 by lunch, and 92 at 4 o'clock. Plenty of sunshine through the day tomorrow. But what about that weekend forecast? Plus, a look at the tropics. Home team weather is straight ahead.
On your Education Watch tonight, helping children stay focused during the summer. Teachers are usually the ones doing the teaching, but today they're the ones doing the learning. Education specialist Pedro Noguera lectured to the faculty and staff from the Tuscaloosa City Schools. Now, you may know Pedro from cable TV, where he regularly discusses educational issues. Today's topics vary from how things outside the classroom can affect things inside of it. Also discuss for ways of teaching that will not bore the students. Noguera says there are also things parents can do to ensure their child is getting the most out of their education.
Main thing is to find out what they're interested in, what they like, and then try to build on activities that address their likes and their interest. So if you know a child likes baseball, get them a book on baseball. Maybe watch a film together about baseball and then introduce the book. Do it things that try to meet them halfway, and they, I think, tend to be more likely to respond well. Librarians are a good resource for finding books that kids will be more likely to want to read.
Noguera also says letting your child be active in things that they enjoy can also make them more willing to learn new things. Well, all last week, you might have heard us asking for submissions for our Father's Day contest, and tonight, WVUA's Lindsay Price introduces you to the winner, a man that was nominated not just once, but 6 times.
I think he would be very honored if he won this award. We are all very thankful for all the things he does for us. He is a really loving and caring dad.
This is one of 6 letters WVUA received from the Lowry family explaining why their dad, Caven Lowry, is the most deserving of What a Great Dad Father's Day contest. Caven's daughters Stephanie and Caitlin Lowry say it's their dad's love and hard work that makes him the most deserving.
If it wasn't for him, I would have never played basketball or softball, and he's done so much for me and our family, and it's just, I don't know, I can't put it in words.
Every day he works until like a very long time, and then he comes home and starts cooking supper, and then he starts working on the pool.
The children wrote letters explaining why Caven is a great dad, and their mom says it was touching.
It was very emotional. It really was. It was it hit the heart. They poured out their heart in these letters. So, and it was very honest.
And when the kids and their mom finally found out, they said they were all in shock.
Oh my gosh, we won! And I was just like, no, are you playing? Because at first we heard, like, we didn't hear it for a couple of days after Father's Day, and we were just like, oh, I guess he didn't win.
The kids really, they were stunned, and they were just so excited. And so I think that's the real meaning. They were just really stunned.
And their dad's reaction wasn't much different.
It's very emotional, and he was very thrilled that someone would think so much of him, and he really deserves this. And the kids, they really think highly of him, and it's understandable. He's very, very awesome.
In Tuscaloosa, Lindsay Price, WVUA News.
Great story right there. And when WVUA News at 10 returns tonight, one couple barely escaped the flames of the High Park fire in Colorado, and now they are picking up the pieces after they learned their cabin was destroyed. We'll have their story. And boxer Deontay Wilder has a fight coming up this weekend. We'll hear from the Bronze Bomber later on in Home Team Sports.